Hey guys, Romansliders here. It's the 8th of September 2012 and it's time for this week's Q&A. But before we get into that, this week I went to the Paralympics on the Wednesday and the Friday. On the Wednesday I went to see the swimming. I went to the aquatic centre. We had really good seats. We could see the pool really clearly and it was really good fun. Seeing the Olympic Park on TV just doesn't do it justice. It's huge, the place, particularly the Olympic Stadium, which I think holds about 80,000 people. I mean, it's huge. And on the Friday, I went, which would be yesterday, I went to see the athletics. So I went into the main stadium itself. Again, we had really good seats. We were quite close to the track, so we weren't too far up. Um, which is really good because we could see everything really clearly. So we saw lots of running and some discus. Um, so it was really great fun to see. It's really inspirational to see people who have disabilities and competing in sporting events and that not letting them stop them. I think that's really fantastic to see. And one of the things that they have in the Paralympics is that they have a classification system where it ranks the severity of disability. I know more about this in the swimming than I do in the other events, but in the swimming they have an S ranking system. So S1 and S2 are like for the really disabled, those who are like completely paraplegic and are in wheelchairs, and those who are in S, like 13 and S12, those are for, are less disabled, and so the disability is less obvious when you look at the person. They probably have like mild coordination problems, but for those who are in like the S1 and S2 rankings, it was interesting to see that they had to be some of the competitors had to be lowered into the pool by someone else and then kept steady until the race started. So that was really interesting to see the support they were given, and how wonderful it is that those with disabilities can compete in sports, and all the adjustments are made so that it is possible. Going to these events, while it's pretty spectacular, it does take quite a lot out of you because it's a lot of walking, even when you get off the tube station at Stratford. It's a pretty long journey. And the day as a whole, it really, again, takes a lot out of you. So my week's been pretty busy with that, and tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to the closing ceremony of the Paralympics, so that should be a really great show to go to. Um, Overall, it's been a really fantastic once-in-a-lifetime experience. The next Olympics and Paralympics will be in Rio de Janeiro in 4 years in Brazil, so who knows? Could go to that. I've got family over there, so perhaps I'll go over there when the time's right. So now on to the questions. The first question is from Isadabble, who wants to know, what is your favourite 16-bit game? I may have said this before, but my favourite 16-bit game is Super Mario World. I think it's the best Mario game that there has been, at least the best 2D Mario game. It's for me a synthesis of the first three Super Mario Brothers games. It retains the map system from Super Mario Brothers 3 and the difficulty from the first Super Mario Brothers. And of course, it introduces Yoshi to everyone, and that I thought was a good dynamic between Yoshi and Mario. It's just a great game. It's just as challenging as all Mario games. Particularly, there was a haunted house level which, if you weren't careful, you could get caught in a repeated loop. So it was. I had to think of a. You have to think of a quite creative solution to get around that, and also the final boss is again Bowser, and again it's always the same plot. Mario has to defeat Bowser to rescue Princess Peach. But no one cares that it's the same plot. It's Mario. It's, I think, pure 2D platforming, and for a game that came out just over 20 years ago, it's quite something. So yes, my favourite 16-bit game is Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. The second question is from Megaman001011, who wants to know, do you have any favourite modern games, and are you looking forward to any releases? My favourite games at the moment are Lego Batman 2 and Transformers Fall of Cybertron. In the case of Lego Batman 2, I prefer it much over the original Lego Batman. I couldn't really get into the first Lego Batman. I played the demo, but didn't feel like Lego games at the time because I think before then they had just done the two Star Wars games, and those had a lot of slapstick humor, and I just felt that was missing in the first Lego Batman. But when Lego Batman 2 came out, I really preferred the designs. It was much more inspired, at least graphically and visually, by the Tim Burton films. And so it had a much darker feel to it, more gothic feel to it. And it had also one of the best things in that game is that you could fly around Gotham as Superman, which was really great to have, and also to have the John Williams theme playing in the background every time you were flying. And I always like to think of that game as World's Finest, the video game. For those who don't know, World's Finest was an animated feature Superman Batman film in the mid 90s, which also featured Lex Luthor and the Joker, which are the two main villains of Lego Batman 2. So it very much reminds me of World's Finest. So I've had great fun playing that. And the other game I've really enjoyed is Fall of Cybertron. I think it's really builds on the War for Cybertron, which was the first game, um, and it really sort of expands upon the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. And I've just recently reviewed that game, so please go check it out. I think I went really into depth in it, talking about the IWD comics and its relationship with the 80s cartoon. So yeah, I think that review could use some love. But yeah, I think it's the definitive Transformers game, and I've really enjoyed playing it. It's a great action game. Games that I'm looking forward to are Assassin's Creed 3. That's most likely going to be the conclusion of the trilogy, and I'm really looking forward to that. I didn't play Brotherhood or Revelations, I've just played the first two games, so I'm really looking forward to the third and how it connects to the previous two. I'm also looking forward to Hitman Absolution. I think Hitman Absolution will be the first game to really be made for the modern consoles, because Blood Money, which came out I think about 6 years ago, um, was originally for like PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, and was then ported over to the 360. So it'll be really interesting to see how Absolution takes advantage of the PlayStation 3 and 360. And it looks really, from what I've seen, it looks really dark and relies a lot more on stealth than I think the previous games have. And it looks incredibly cinematic as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And another game is this will be the last one. Is Lego Lord of the Rings. I mean, I've loved the Lego games since they came out with the first Star Wars game. I think they're really good, and Lord of the Rings is one of my favourite franchises, so it'll be interesting to see how they blend the two styles together. The last question comes from Multi-Doom-Fire, who asks, how did you get to be a partner? Do you have any tips? Well, if you've been to my channel, you may have noticed on the right hand side it says RPM, which says that I am a member of the RPM network, which is a part of Maker Studios, which you may be familiar with that name. It's the studio behind the Game Station, Ray William Johnson, Kasim G, all of those guys. So it's another network within Maker Studios. So if you type in RPM Talent Network into Google, you'll be able to find the main page, which gives you all the information you need to know about the RPM network, and where to apply, you have to be earning over 30,000 views a month. I think that's the threshold to be considered eligible. So you just go there, type in all your details. They respond pretty quickly about joining, and they send you over a contract which you can have a look at and sign if you want to. And then takes a couple of days to a week to complete the onboarding process to get it cleared through YouTube. Um, and then you get access to all of the partner features such as branding logos and banners, and a way to sort of distinguish yourself from other channels, because people can't partner with YouTube directly anymore. You used to be able to go through YouTube and partner directly through them, but you can't do that anymore. So the only way that channels can now get fully branded options is to partner through a network like RPM or somewhere else. So that's the advice I can give you is to build up your channel as much as you possibly can, and see if you're eligible to join a network, because being a partner is what I think every aspiring YouTuber wants. So it was really great when I got my partnership, and it's the first step in building your brand identity on YouTube. Again, thanks for all your questions, and keep sending them in by either posting them down in the comment section below or going to my Facebook page. Also, be sure to check out my full Cybertron review. It's really in depth, and I think you'll enjoy it, so go check it out. So until next week, take care. See you guys.